Hey guys, welcome back to the 12 Days of Vlogmas, where I post a video every day for the 12 days leading up to Christmas. And in today's video, I'm going to be wrapping presents and I'm going to attempt to multitask and also update you guys on all things doctors, because good grief, my experience with doctors lately has been a whole conundrum. It's been a whole thing. So I thought I would share with you guys because I mentioned it in yesterday's vlog and then I just didn't get around to sharing about it. But isn't this wrapping paper really pretty? I really like it. My mom picked out good wrapping paper this year. See, this is the problem. I have a really hard time multitasking when I'm talking in a video and supposed to be doing something else. But I will start the story. So it all started towards the end of October. I noticed I had gained a bit of weight, and I just want to say right here, right now, that gaining weight is different for every single person, but for me, it is a concern. It's not like the worst thing ever, but it's always something I need to kind of investigate because my nutrition is so closely monitored. I'm on TPN at night, which is basically liquid IV nutrition. And even though I eat meals throughout the day, I just can't get enough calories in and enough nutritional foods in to maintain my health and stability and make sure all my nutritional needs are met. And so that's why I'm on TPN at night. I've been on it since 2020. And I'm on it because of pancreatic insufficiency, which basically just means my pancreas doesn't produce enough enzymes to absorb nutrients from food, to digest food. So when I eat, my pancreas doesn't produce those enzymes, which means I don't get any of the nutrients from food, and I will not tolerate the food. I do take digestive enzyme pills every time I eat something, but that doesn't fix everything. So that's why I'm on TPN. And with TPN, when you're on it, you're pretty closely monitored. And so I've been at a stable weight the past couple of years, which has been a good thing. My doctors were all in agreement. That's where they wanted me. But in noticing I gained some weight, I was like, hey, I'm going to reach out to my doctor and see if we can adjust TPN, maybe go down in calories, because that's actually a good thing. That means I'm getting more food in orally and more calories on my own, which again is a good thing because real food will always be better than not real food, which is TPN. So I set out to contact my doctor and I counted on my call log. And I'm going to say this number and you're not going to believe me at all. If I was you, I wouldn't believe me either, but I individually counted each call. So trying to get a hold of my doctor, I sent 3 MyChart messages and I called a total of 29 times. Out of those 29 times, only 4 or 5 times was I actually able to get through to someone at my doctor's office. Every other time I called, the phone would either disconnect or it would ring and ring and ring. No one would pick up and it would say, sorry, there's no available caregivers at the moment. Please try to call back again later. And there was no way to leave a voicemail. And then I sent another MyChart message, and the MyChart messages kept being forwarded to the nurse, not to my doctor. So I just want to say as a disclaimer, my doctor is really great. She's really amazing, has been. I've followed her as a patient to where she's at now, and so she wasn't the issue. It was just me trying to get a hold of her that was the issue, and it wasn't really on her. It was on her office staff, because the way MyChart messages work, at least with this doctor's office, is it gets forwarded to the nurse, and then the nurse decides if they'll forward it to the doctor or not. And finally, after 2 weeks, I got a MyChart message response saying, schedule an appointment. And I was like, okay, but why do I need an appointment? Because I know she's going to be booked and busy until the new year. I was right. And I was just like, hey, can this be worked on at the back end with my doctor and home health company? Only question I wanted answered. That question did not get answered in a MyChart message, and the multiple times I tried to get through to my doctor's office, because again, it was impossible to get through. I did everything you could think of. I called the operator to redirect me to my doctor's office. I called the scheduling people, and it was a whole mess. And through this whole mess, one of the times I get through to my doctor's office, the lady at the front desk answers. We'll call her Pam. I don't know why I chose the name Pam, but that's the name we're going with apparently. And Pam at the front desk told me, hey, you have a date for December blank. And I was like, yeah, I got a confirmation text saying hey, you're booked for an appointment on December blank. And I'm like, I can't do December blank. That is the day of my grandfather's funeral. That is just not going to work for me. And in response to that, Pam says, "You're sure you can't make December blank work for you?" By the way, I'm saying December blank because I don't want to say my grandpa's funeral has already happened. I just don't want to say the date. But she's like, "You're sure you can't make December blank?" And I'm like, "I've told you already. That's the date of my grandpa's funeral. No, I cannot work it in." She's like, "Are you really sure?" And I was like, "Yes." And then she asked one more time. And at that point, I was flabbergasted. And then she said, "Oh, the phone is about to be disconnected." And I said, "Huh?" And then the phone line got disconnected. Did I get a call back? No. Did I get through to the office? No. Did I call several more times trying to get through? Was I successful? No. No, I wasn't. I wasn't at all. And then I call back to the scheduling people. And I'm like, "Hey, this is what happened. I want to confirm that December blank is not in the system. I cannot make it that day. That is the date of my grandfather's funeral." To which the scheduler apologized to me. Now, no one has to apologize to me. Quite frankly, it's none of their business. It's a personal matter of mine. I'm not expecting condolences at all. But it was a nice touch compared to Pam, who asked 3 times if I was sure I couldn't make that appointment date. Anyways, and so the scheduler is like, "Oh yeah, you're not booked for December blank, but you do have an appointment for February 12th and for March 12th. And I'm like, "What? What? Please cancel both of those." And then I just kind of gave up until one day I called again and I got someone else finally in my doctor's office who was really nice and helpful and said, "I'm going to talk to the doctor myself and get back to you by the end of the day." Then 5 minutes after I hang up, I have hope. I'm happy. 5 minutes after that, Pam calls back and says, "Hi, Haley. Yeah, I just remembered that, the phone got disconnected the other day, and so I'm calling you back, and you're going to be dealing with me from now on, not the lady you just spoke to, because this is my job." And I'm like, "But I just spoke to her 5 minutes ago." And Pam was like, "Yeah, I know. I'll talk to the doctor myself. I'll send another note." And I was like, Thanks, Pam. Because Pam was who I had been dealing with, and Pam was not helpful at any point, really. And in the meantime, while all of this is happening, I have a local GI doctor. So I have 2 GI doctors because the GI doctor I've just been talking about, she practices out of state, but still has me as a patient. But I have a local GI doctor on standby for anything I need done. I was having some abdominal pain. I think I ended up being gluten. I think there's some cross-contamination with something I ate. I don't know exactly. Whatever it was, I was in pain. I wasn't sure if it was pancreatitis or what it was. I don't think it was pancreatitis, but I didn't know. And so I was going to call my local GI doctor to the on-call doctor. I had been told there was an on-call doctor in the past to kind of get their take because I did not want to go into the ER if I didn't absolutely have to. And so I can't get a hold of anyone at all. And after an hour of trying to get through to anyone at my local GI doctor's office, I get through to a random lady. This random lady tells me that basically, if I wanted to talk to any of the doctors in the practice, at any point after hours, I would have to go into the ER and have the ER page the doctors to then talk to the doctors. And I was like, let me clarify. Let me just make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Did you just say that I have to go to the ER and have the ER page the doctors so that I could talk to the doctor about a medical concern? And the answer was yes. And I hung up. So needless to say, I don't have a local GI doctor anymore because I also couldn't get through to them. Because before this pain episode, trying to call the on-call doctor, I had been trying to schedule an appointment for over a week and couldn't get through to anyone. So it was just a whole thing. And then I had an appointment with a local GI doctor because I'm like, at this point, if I can't ever get through to her, that's a problem. And what if something really dire is happening? I need something better. I need a local GI doctor anyway. That's a better situation. So I'm gonna try. So I find this one place and I'm like, okay, I'll book with this doctor and see him. So he was nice. His resident was nice and they want to do a whole GI workup. And I'm like, that's fine. I expected that. And then I end the call and then I get a pharmacy notification on my phone saying a medication prescription has been called in that I didn't authorize or know about, that they didn't talk about. And then I got a message to schedule my colonoscopy and endoscopy that was not talked about. And then I got another text saying that my digestive enzyme pill prescription was sent in. And so I called my pharmacy and I was like, hey guys, please cancel those. Don't fill those. That was not done with my consent or knowledge. That was just not communicated to me. And at that point, I was just like, okay, the prescription, the scopes, like all of this stuff is just like not making me feel good of all of that happening without my consent. And I was like, yeah, this isn't it. And then I look at the notes, because I always do after doctor's appointments. I look at my doctor's notes. This new doctor put the wrong diagnosis in my notes. As one of my primary diagnoses, it was a completely very specific GI condition I most definitely do not have. And at that time, I was just done. I was done. And then I noticed for my current digestive pills, I needed to call my pharmacy to have them refill it. And then I'm told that because this new doctor overwrote the existing prescription, I had to get in contact with my out-of-state GI doctor to correct the prescription. The same out-of-state GI doctor I haven't been able to get a hold of about my medical concern for adjusting TPN. So it's the week of Thanksgiving. I am like trying to hurry and like contact my doctor. So I sent a MyChart message, and then I also called my doctor's office and I talked to, you guessed it, Pam again. And Pam laughs at me because what I said was, hey, this is what happened, and I would, really appreciate it if the doctor could get it done by the end of the day. To which Pam laughs at me and says, yeah, that's not gonna happen. The doctor has some procedures all day today. I'm like, okay, I completely understand that. Can you please like leave a note for her so she does it first thing tomorrow? To that what she says, oh, I see here you sent a MyChart message. They have 2 to 3 days to respond to that. And I said, well, Pam, I've had a really difficult time getting a hold of anyone in this office lately, so I wanted to call to follow up to make sure I won't run out of my medication. And she was like, fine, I will send another note to the doctor, and hung up. Hey y'all, I got cut off by my camera's battery dying, so a little bit of a hot mess, and I have no recollection of where I left other than I believe I was talking about this new guy I had a consult with and how he messed everything up with my enzyme prescription, and then my pharmacy. I don't know what happened. Basically, I was very, 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 very close to not getting my enzymes on time, and I had no option at all because they had to wait to get it from their supplier, which was on back order. And I was told the supplier had the prescription, so the local pharmacy didn't even have the prescription, so they couldn't even go to other pharmacies to get my enzymes for me. And luckily, someone didn't pick up their enzymes and I was able to take them, however that works. But it was just such a headache. So I'm like, let me get this straight. I can't get in contact with my out-of-state GI doctor about a medical concern I have regarding TPN and my weight. I can't get a hold of my local GI doctor when I'm having a medical issue. This new doctor I found prescribed a medication that wasn't talked about to me. He wants me to do stuff that was not mentioned or communicated, and he wrote the wrong diagnosis in my doctor's notes. And also, my pharmacy completely screwed everything up. And it's absolutely ridiculous that I've just been trying to have my TPN adjusted slightly. And it's all of this hassle, and guys, this is the Cliff Notes. This is the Cliff Notes, and it's insane. And so, I think 2 weeks ago, I called my doctor's office one last time, trying to like get through about like the appointment situation at least. And thankfully, by a literal miracle, I got through, and she said they had a cancellation for literally 2 days after that. So I had my doctor's appointment the day before my grandfather's funeral, and I talked face to face with my GI doctor, and she was like, yeah, we can definitely adjust your TPN. And so she said, I want to get some blood work from you, and then I'm going to adjust your TPN as long as all of that looks good. And I told her just about everything, and she's like, here's my email. And I'm like, great, amazing, love that. I'll go get my blood drawn and we'll figure this out. We'll adjust my TPN. I emailed her the other day and I haven't heard back still. So that's fun. To be fair, she is a very busy doctor, but now I'm like, did my email end up in her junk email, or does she have one of those emails that she just doesn't see it? I don't know. So now I have to try to contact the doctor's office again so I can get my lab forms, because I don't have the lab order, and I also have to have an in-person appointment with her, and she's out of state, if I want to retain care, which I think I'm going to do for this year, and then see if I can find another doctor closer. If she was closer, I would just grin and bear it. But there's a lot. So, yeah, I am very blessed to have healthcare and to have, you know, insurance and all of this, and an amazing family who supports me through all of the craziness and helps advocate for me. All of that is not lost to me, but man, oh man, does the medical system push me to the brink sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, it's absolutely ridiculous. And so if you've been in any kind of really frustrating, aggravating, medical system related anything lately, I am with you in solidarity, because good grief, it should not be this difficult to get medical care so, you know, you live and you can somewhat enjoy life. So that's my story. It has been so stressful, and it's been since the end of October, and we're now the week before Christmas. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's. Bye guys.